guys, Sid from Sid's Trains here, and welcome to O-Scale Layout Update number 4. So before we get started in this video, I want to show you some cool products from my buddy Matt. My buddy Matt has started a Teesprings page where he is selling t-shirts, sweatshirts, some face masks, even some hats I believe. And the products are amazing. This is one of them. This is a B&O t-shirt that I got. And I even have another shirt from him. I have this Reading Crusader shirt. This just looks amazing. And he has tons of other shirts as well. He has Great Northern, New York Central, Long Island Railroad, and I even believe he has some British Railroad stuff. So go check out his page on Teesprings, and I'll put the link in the description below. And use code SIDSTRAINS at checkout, and you will get 10% off your purchase. That helps out my buddy Matt and helps out me. And in return, you will get some really nice t-shirts, sweatshirts, or whatever you purchase from his page. So go check it out and make sure to use code SIDSTRAINS. Let's get into this video. So in the last layout update video, I showed you guys the Homosote being put down on the table, the Homosote gaps being filled in with that web patch compound, and overall just the surface before it was painted. A lot has happened since then, so let's go check it out. So in the last layout update video, this is what the table looked like. It had all the gaps filled in and was a nice starting point for painting the table. To start the painting on the table, my dad and I painted the seams, all the screw heads, and the outer edge of the table that was against the walls so that we could then roll on paint. We would start out rolling more paint out from the walls so that we could kind of feather it out from the wall and give ourselves plenty of space so that we don't then accidentally paint onto the wall. Finally, we started rolling on paint, and it started to look really, really good. It's this nice uniform look with this tan color, and in the end, it just looks fantastic. Here's a picture of it with it all dry, and we applied multiple coats. We applied 2 to 3 coats, if I'm remembering correctly, and we could have applied another one, and it would have looked even better, but we felt 2 to 3 was good enough. So that's how I got the table to where it is now with the nice tan painted surface, and it looks really good. By no means is it perfect. There are places where you can see some imperfections. Right here you can see a seam where it's just not perfect, but there's other places where there's seams where it's not as easy to see. Right here there's a seam and it's not as easy to see, and overall it just looks like a nice uniform surface. And that's what I wanted it to be. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be putting scenery on top. So these little imperfections you may see, like over there I believe, I think that actually might just be a piece of dirt, but there's just these imperfections in places. And that doesn't matter because I will be putting scenery down on the table. But here's another look at everything. I'll show you the tracks over here. Just pan around and get a good look at everything before I talk about the track. This looks awesome. And stay tuned for Friday's video. What's under that cover is Friday's video. Stay tuned for that. So let's talk about the track here. So I ordered a bunch of switches. As you can tell, there's a lot of switches in my track plan. There's 4 switches here, 3 right here, 1 right there, and about 4 right here. So my track plan has a lot of switches involved, and this isn't everything. I still need 3 more switches over here, 2 more 072s, and then an 072Y over here. And of course, I still need my turntable, and that's going to be coming in the future. And of course, I have my Atlas track here that will be simulating that on the table, but I have not put that up yet. But this is the track plan that the layout is going to be based around. It's very similar to the way it was before, with the two loops in this kind of L-shaped pattern. They come around here, and the main difference is the distance between the tracks. As you can see, there's this large gap in between the tracks here, and I do that because this track is going to be elevated. And with the track being elevated, I'm going to need scenery for the hills to come down to the level ground, and I need my big boy to be able to run on the inner loop and not hit those hills. So I gave myself plenty of space for the tracks. But then as you see over there, they get closer because that's going to be a tunnel. That's going to be a mountain on this whole wall here. And it doesn't matter if they're close over there. And once again over here, the tracks are far apart, mainly because I have my famous crossover, which I can give you another good look at that. I love the way this looks, and it's going to be fun running trains in and out of the loops like this. But over here we have a large gap, and I'm going to figure out if this is the way I want it to be. I'm pretty sure that this is how it's going to stay, but it could change. And as I said before, the outer loop is going to be elevated, go up, be up there, and then drop back down over here. Now you see there's that long siding in the back. You're like, what's that for? Well, that's just for me to be able to store freight cars on the layout without, of course, having to take them on and off. It allows me to then store the cars over there and just have them on the layout. It's not really a yard because it's just that might be in a mountain. That might be in a mountain. Things could change. It could be in a hill. It could not be in a hill, or it might start there or start all the way back here. It just depends. This is a work in progress, and as it goes along, things will change. But for the most part, I have this set idea of that track being in a mountain or some kind of hill, and the elevated track will kind of block it. But it's mainly meant for storing freight cars, and it might be hard to see, but over there, that's an 036 curve that leads onto it, and basically freight cars are the only things that I can get around that sharp turn. None of my long passenger cars will like going on that turn there. Now, on my reverse loop, you see I have this little set of sidings with the Polar Express on it. This is going to be my yard. I'm going to be adding one or two more tracks to it. I still need more switches for it. But this is the way it's going to look. I'm going to use the lighted bumpers. And yeah, this is going to be my yard. I am eliminating the pop-up that used to be in the center of the table. That's gone. Not going to be having that anymore. And instead, I'm going to have this yard. And over there, you can see is my Lionel Fast Track defect detector. And I have that on the reverse loop because I think it looks good there. And it fills in that space well. So this is kind of the track plan. And again, I still have this set of two tracks here. I plan to have some kind of industry here. And the same thing over there where that pacemaker boxcar is. I plan to have an industry there. And I hopefully am going to fit the Menards National Power and Light Factory, I believe it's called. That's what I plan to fit there. And overall, my railroad is going to, or my layout in railroad, so to speak, is going to be a coal hauler railroad. I like coal trains. I grew up in an area where the Chesapeake and Ohio used to run, the B&O used to run, and of course the N&W, and they were coal hauler railroads. So that's what I'm basing it off of. And I'm planning to name the railroad the Chesapeake, Norfolk, and Western, kind of like a combination of the C&O and the N&W. And that's kind of the idea. It's a coal hauler railroad. So it's definitely steam-based, lots of coal trains. Of course, I still have passenger trains, and it's not really all C&O and N&W. I have a New York Central Hudson. I have a Southern Pacific Daylight. But that's kind of the basis for my railroad and the layout. So I think it looks really good, and I'm looking forward to more work in the future. overall it's just amazing, and I'm really looking forward to having trains run again. I have ran a couple of trains with my MTH transformer here. I had my TIU out just to mess around, but my remote finally bit the dust, so I'm looking into finding a replacement for that, and I'm going to be, of course, wiring everything. Nothing is screwed down at the moment. I can walk up to this and lift it up, and as you can see, there's gaps underneath the fast track right now, so nothing is screwed down yet. Nothing is wired up yet. It is just the track laid down on the table, and that's about it. So this is all I have for this layout update. Stay tuned for more and more videos, and as always, like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Comment below and tell others about the channel. I'm Sid, and I'll see you next time, guys.